Well, I'm going to start off our time together with a confession. I hope that's okay. But over the last 10 years, I have been hosting a top-rated podcast called Dream, Think, Do. Our guests have been famous people with inspiring stories, all the way to lesser-known people with stories that would blow you away. We have hundreds of episodes, and that represents thousands of hours of research and interviews, all on the subject of dreaming. And that brings me to my confession. I have a love-hate relationship with the word dream. It's true. On one hand, I love it. It's what the podcast is all about, and dreams matter. We can all agree with that. If you dig deep on any story of innovation or breakthrough or comeback, usually if you dig deep enough, you'll find it started with one person that gave themselves permission to dream. So dreams matter. There's no doubt. But on the other hand, this word dream can bring with it a lot of pressure. It can feel overwhelming. It can feel frustrating. I mean, some of you might be quietly freaking out right now, wondering if I'm going to ask you, what's your big dream? Let me give you a quick story. Recently, a successful entrepreneur reached out to me, and he had been trying to connect with his teenage son. And he wanted him to live his best life, to go out and achieve, to dream big. And so we sat him down with the best of intentions and said, son, what's your big dream? Now, as he did it, he was thinking, I'm killing it on this dad department thing, right? Like, they're going to make a Hallmark movie out of this moment at some point. Dad of the year, hello. But instead of lighting up, his son locked up. He got frustrated and shut down. And sadly, I've heard versions of this play out time and time again, whether it's in coaching and mentoring, or leadership, or teaching, or parenting. And heck, just at the risk of completely blowing up my talk and totally frustrating you, I'm going to ask you, are you ready? What is your big dream? Do you feel that? It can be overwhelming. It can be frustrating. It can cause us to lock up, to shut down. But here's the good news. That's not failure on your part. That's a failure of the question. Because something that we've learned over the last couple of decades of talking with people about their dreams is oftentimes when we're tempted to think we don't have any dreams, it's not because we don't have dreams. It's usually because the question we're asked is working against us. And so in our short time together, I'm going to do a couple of things. We are going to do a couple things. One is I'm going to ask you to never ask this question of anyone ever again. Can I get an amen and a whoop whoop? There we go. All right. But the good news is what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to walk you through 3 keys. These are science-backed, research-based keys to set up simple but powerful questions that you can start to use right now for the people that you love, the people that you lead, and maybe, just maybe, even yourself. That's what we're going to do. Key 1 is called the power of might. I'm going to give you a little science that you can use to amaze your friends later, okay? What the power of might does, and the question that we're going to ask, it helps us to overcome what behavioral scientists call semantic interference. It's what's going on in our brain when a word seems really big, when a word can have multiple meanings, multiple definitions, and take you down multiple tracks. So what's important here is that when somebody asks that question, what's your big dream? It looks like a simple question. But if you've ever been asked that question, you know that your brain just automatically starts to ask some follow-up questions. Like, wait, do I have dreams and goals? Are they actually big? Do I really want to do them? Are they, are they socially acceptable? Would they be celebrated? And then the brain breaker is, wait, if I have more than one, which one's the biggest? And that's why we tend to shut down. That this question makes us feel locked up. That's why I'm going to ask you to never ask it again. But by asking a more powerful question, it can help to simplify things and break through that semantic interference. And that question simply is, what might some of your dreams be? Now, I'll give you an example where this played out for me recently. I'm a success coach. I've been doing this for about 20 plus years. I work with high achieving leaders and entrepreneurs and founders, and I've been helping other coaches and mentors for 15 of those years. I love to ask a good question. And recently I was working with one of my own coaching clients. She is an executive with a branding firm. She's wildly talented and wicked smart, just incredible. And her boss asked her the "what's your big dream" question as a part of her annual review. Now, her boss had the best of intentions. She was trying to help her dream and think about her next season of her career, but it shut down my client cold. Now, if you wanted to ask her any question about her industry, about her team, about her objectives, she could answer you in a fraction of a second. But this question stopped her in her tracks. And when we were talking about it in our session, I said, "Hey, it's not you. It's just an ineffective question." I said, let's attack it from a little different perspective. And I used this key. I said, "Hey, what might some of your dreams be?" I just smiled and sat back and waited. Now, she had felt completely locked up, but you could almost see the dreams getting unlocked as she thought about it. And as a smile came across her face, she's like, "Whoa, what might some of my dreams be?" She's like, "Actually, someday I'd like to own my own business. And I want to go to Italy. And I've been thinking about doing some cooking classes. And did I tell you I've thought about starting my own podcast?" I mean, these dreams started to flow out so fast, she was shocked. She covered her mouth and laughed. She's like, "Oh my gosh, they were all in there. They just popped out." That's the beauty of might. The beauty of might allows us to step into possibility and unlock those dreams. So as you think about a question like this, it's so simple but so powerful. Who maybe could you ask this question? Let me ask that better. Who might you ask this question? I mean, think about it. Right now, think of somebody that you could ask this question. Maybe it's a friend. Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's somebody on your team. Maybe it's a friend, a family member. Who might you ask this question? Who might you help open up some possibilities? That's key one. Key two, go ahead and put 2 up. We're gonna go 2. That is the power of experience. Power of experience. So I will admit that I came across this strategy completely by accident. A few years ago, I was working on one of my own big dreams, and everything had been clicking. Everything was working. It was beautiful. And then over a period of about 30 days, everything fell apart. It was a product idea, and our big client that had said yes, all of a sudden said no. We had manufacturing issues all of a sudden. And then the money that we thought we had evaporated. That was a bad 30 days. And it was at that point I realized, we need some help. And then I realized I could ask my friends for some help. But then I thought, if I ask for help from my friends on my dream, maybe I should ask what my friends' dreams are, because maybe I could help them as they help me. So let's recap our story real quick. We're out of time, out of options, and out of money. And my idea was to invite everyone over to our house to write down some dreams, to put them up on our walls, and to see if we could help each other out. So yeah, out of time, out of options, out of money. My big idea, throw a party. Hello. But I married up. I did. And my wife said, "Let's do it." And so we sat down and we wrote an email. And I remember in the subject line, I put "Big Dream Gathering." Because I knew if we put "Big Dream Committee," no one is coming to that party. And then we explained the basics. We said, "Hey, come over with some dreams. We'll write them on sheets of paper. We'll put them up on the walls, and let's just see what happens. Maybe we can help each other out." And we sent that email to 31 friends. Weird idea, email, short notice, and we were shocked. We sent it to 31 friends, and 29 of them showed up. Now, I'll be straight up with you. We are Midwesterners, and we made it a potluck. Little fried chicken, couple covered dishes, a little pizza, always helps the numbers. I gotta tell you, it always does. But here's what happened. Some of our friends, we found out very quickly, were extreme dreamers. They came, they didn't need any setup. They just started writing down dreams and posting them on our walls. It was absolutely amazing. They started to just throw them up there. But most of our friends, they shot straight with us. They were honest with us. They were like, well, when I got your email, I didn't know what my dreams were. So I came to just kind of figure it out, to maybe be inspired by other people dreaming, to maybe encourage a few other people and just see how it goes. And that's what we did. And what was amazing is that people did that. They started to give themselves permission to dream, to write some dreams down, to encourage other people, to just see where it went. And it was an amazing experience. It was supposed to go for a couple of hours on a Tuesday, and we lost total control of it, and it went for a week, which was kind of cool and kind of weird all at the same time. But it was amazing because a lot of people actually got help. A lot of dreams got launched. And I'm very grateful to say that our product got back on track and we were able to get it to Christmas, or get it in stores by Christmas. So it was incredible. And I'm grateful for that. But I'm even more grateful for the experience, because that first big dream gathering kicked off a movement. We didn't even know it at the time, but we've done countless big dream gatherings since, all around the country. We've had thousands of people attend. We've had tens of thousands of dreams go up on the wall. And we've seen all sorts of dreams get recognized and launched. Some dreams are just fun. We had one big dream gathering where 6 people, they didn't know each other before the gathering, but 6 people all connected because they realized they had a shared dream of skydiving. Anybody want to skydive? You guys are crazy. I love it. That's awesome. Not me, right? But these 6 people, they didn't know each other before the gathering, but they knew they needed each other. And so they decided to work together to set a date and jump out of a plane together. I'm very, very happy to say they all lived. I was very happy to see that email, right? But we've had other fun dreams. We had Chandler come to a big dream gathering. He was a junior in college at the time, and he wrote down that he had a big dream of writing a book. And people said, why wait? Do it now. And he did. He wrote a book, and then actually it did quite well. He made thousands of dollars in the first month of it being published. He was blown away. I mean, that's mind-blowing for a junior in college, let alone anyone. We had somebody named Mandy. She came to a big dream gathering, and she had a dream of helping kids in Africa. She said when she posted it on the wall, her heart was racing. But people got excited about it. They got behind her. She got more bold, and she made that happen. She was actually in Africa helping kids in 6 months. Absolutely amazing, and we love it. It has been such an honor and so much fun to see thousands of people get clear on their dreams. But one of the things that we've realized as we've been doing these big dream gatherings is sometimes the very thing that keeps people from knowing what their dreams are is the word dream itself. I know it might sound ironic, but some people get so wrapped up on whether it's a dream, whether it's a goal. Does that matter? Should I pursue it? So we say, hey, for some people that are really locked up, instead of saying, don't worry about your dreams, you don't need to identify those. We ask a different question. That is, what's something you'd like to experience more often? We just chuck the word dream. What's something you'd like to experience more often? One of my favorite examples of this is we did a big dream gathering in Georgia, and then we went back a year later and did another one in the same town. And a woman came up to me at that second big dream gathering. She says, hey, I was here last year, but you probably wouldn't recognize me. I said, oh, really? Why is that? And she said, well, I've lost 100 pounds since last year. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Was that your dream? And she said, no. She's like, that wasn't my dream at all. And I said, okay, well, what was your dream? And she said, well, when I came to the big dream gathering, I was very locked up. She's like, I didn't know what my dreams were. I didn't know how to get clear on those things, but I took your challenge. When I heard you ask that question, what's something I want to experience more often? She's like, something in me just clicked. And that's when she pulled her dream sheet out of her purse and unfolded it. It was tattered and folded. And that's where I saw it. It said, I want to experience joy more often. And she said, so I started to pursue joy. And as I did, I just started to make better choices, healthier choices. I started to experience joy more often. She's like, my goal wasn't to lose the weight. That wasn't my dream. But she said, I'm kind of happy that it happened. I'm like, well, yeah, that's beautiful. That's amazing. And that's what can happen when sometimes we just let go of the word dream entirely and say, all right, What's something we want to experience more often? Now, key 3, we're going to talk about real quick. Key 3 is something we call the power of seasons. And here's the deal. Psychologists tell us that our brain works in seasons. In different seasons of our life, we make priorities out of different things, different seasons. And so what's beautiful is it actually lines up with the way that we are hardwired. But also seasons helps to bring some clarity and some freedom. Sometimes some dreams are just for one season. As an example, those 6 crazy people that jumped out of the plane together, none of them came home and opened a skydiving school. None of them. But they all were grateful they had that experience. They said it made them more bold and courageous, and they lived differently after the fact. So sometimes dreams are just for one season, but sometimes dreams are for more than one season. Sometimes they're for a lifetime. Chandler went on to actually launch a company that's helped thousands of people to publish books. And Mandy, she and her husband have adopted 2 boys from the Central African Republic, and it changed their lives. So some dreams are just for one season, some dreams are for a lifetime, but oftentimes the only way you figure out which is by stepping into them. So I started this off by saying, hey, I've got a love-hate relationship with the word dream, and more so with the question that so often people try to use to pull out dreams, that, what's your big dream? But I think we've agreed we're not going to use that again, right? We're going to use these different keys. What might some of your dreams be? That can open up possibilities. What would you like to experience more? That can open up curiosity. What's a dream for this season can bring some clarity. Because here's what's amazing, is with these simple keys, you could unlock someone's dream. Someone that you care about, someone that you love, someone that you would love to have impact on and with. And just as importantly, you could use these keys to unlock some of your own dreams. Because the right question at the right time, that can make all the difference. That can change things. That can truly unlock a dream. And most importantly, it could be one of yours, and it could start today. Thank you.